All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome back to another MK1 video. So, with pretty much all of the Mortal Kombat DLC characters out at the moment, I decided that I wanted to talk about the MK1 DLC characters, or the Mortal Kombat side of the DLC characters in Mortal Kombat 1, which are, in order, Quan Chi, Ermac, Takeda, Noob Saibot, Cyrax, and Sektor. Gonna go through all of them, give my opinions on these characters, and also tell you guys, in my opinion, who the best Mortal Kombat DLC character was. Of course, I want you guys to comment down below which was your favorite of the Mortal Kombat DLC characters in MK1, and also leave a like on the video. It's always appreciated. Helps the channel out. Helps the channel out a ton. All right, so first off here, let's start off with Quan Chi. So Quan Chi obviously was a pretty big part of the story in MK1. You know, formed the Deadly Alliance, sort of reformed the Deadly Alliance in this game after not being a thing for a long time. Created another one of the DLC characters, which is Ermac, and you know there's a bunch of importance for Quan Chi's character in the story mode. I'm mostly going to focus on gameplay aspects, but I do want to mention story mode stuff if it comes up. Obviously, you know, with the Chaos Reigns, you know, those characters are pretty important to the DLC as well. But just gameplay overall, how does Quan Chi fare compared to Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat X? There are some aspects to Quan Chi in MK1 that resemble MKX. For example, the spell, the Sorcerer Armor spell, comes back in this game with the orange portal. It's, if you meter burn it, it's pretty much identical to the Sorcerer Armor spell for Quan Chi and MKX, which is probably my single favorite thing about Quan Chi and MK1 because it resembles what he had in MKX. I feel like in MKX he has such good variety. I mean, he wasn't the best character in the world, but he has such good variety with the three variations. And I think they got a pretty good mix of a little bit of MKX sprinkled in here with a completely brand new concept that they wanted to go for, you know, with the cage and with the different Netherrealm sort of like beasts that he summons, right, to help him out. So I think Quan Chi overall has a really good design gameplay wise. I still think he needs improvements, though. I feel like his design is on point as far as you know, being a unique version of Quan Chi, but I feel like to make him live up to his fullest potential and his, you know, make him a little bit more fun, he needs a little bit more, because where he has the big negative on his side is the fact that a lot of his buttons are really slow. Not only that, but there's a lot of combo strings that he has that have gaps in them. So you could literally just mash on armor. For example, his 214 string, 2144, I think it is. You could mash that like after the second attack, and you won't even need to deal with any sort of mix-ups or anything. You could just armor through that all day. So he has a lot of gaps in his combo strings. But overall, I was very happy with Quan Chi. I'm actually going to give a rating, a letter grade to all these characters. That's improvised right now because I was just going to give you guys my opinions on their gameplay and, you know, talk about who I thought was my favorite or the best, you know. But I think I'm just going to give them a letter grade because my comment at the end talking about who I think the best DLC character was and who my favorite was is just going to be off personal preference. So, but I'm going to give every Mortal Kombat DLC character a grade. So Quan Chi, I'm gonna give him a solid B. I don't think he's in the A category yet, just because he kind of sucks. He might be the worst character in the game, but he's still fun. He still has a lot of aspects to him that's really fun. But as far as the Mortal Kombat DLC characters, I'm gonna give him a solid B. All right, moving on here. I got all these little videos right here to highlight each character's gameplay. So next up is gonna be Ermac. So if you guys don't know, Ermac is my favorite Mortal Kombat character of all time. So what grade do you think I'm gonna give him, and who do you think my favorite character is gonna be from the Mortal Kombat DLC? I don't know. It's a mystery to me. It's a mystery who possibly could take the #1 spot. But Ermac, when Ermac came out, I thought it was going to be a real turning point for Mortal Kombat because I felt like a lot of his combo strings were really fast. And I felt like he was playing at a speed much higher than every other character in Mortal Kombat at the time, Mortal Kombat 1 at the time. Very impressive reveal trailer. And I feel like that carried over to when he came out. I still feel he plays very fast for the most part because you have to consistently run cancel. A lot of his combo strings have a good flow to them. They're faster than some other characters' combo strings. At least they feel like they move fluidly faster than a lot of characters on the roster. So I thought that was the direction that they were going to go for moving forward with the game. I thought they might change up some of the speed of some combo strings, and they were going to go more towards like an Ermac style where he seems like he's moving really fast. So gameplay wise, I feel Ermac is super, super fun in this game. Amazing combo potential, especially with Janet and her puppet stance. You could get a crazy amount of damage. Pretty much 1 bar a meter, you get 55%. In some cases, 60% if you hit like the optimal Janet route. He works really well with other cameos like Jax and Scorpion. Has awesome brutalities. One of my favorites, of course, is the choke one because it's a reference to his Mortal Kombat 3 fatality. So there's a lot of nice throwbacks. They gave him his UMK3 skin, and they gave him a Mortal Kombat movie skin, which he wasn't in the original Mortal Kombat movie, but he was in Annihilation, and the mask that they gave him for the MK1 movie skin is very reminiscent of his MK Annihilation mask. And I just think that visually, Ermac just looks badass. He looks so fucking cool. I was worried about Ermac when they first revealed that he was going to be DLC. Obviously, I was happy, but at the same time, he had no mask when they first revealed him, and everyone was making fun of Ermac when he was showcased for the first time because, like, where the hell is the mask? He looks ugly as hell. He's just Mummy Man, pretty much. So they kind of kept it similar to the way he looked in MKX, being sort of like a mummy style character, or not style character, but he just resembles a mummy, okay? He's dehydrated. He's a fucking prune. So after after how cool Ermac's costume was in MK11, and we never even got him as a DLC character in that game, a lot of people, including myself, had really high expectations for Ermac and the way he was going to look and be designed in MK1. And at the beginning, I was very disappointed because it's the complete opposite of what we thought was going to happen. But once Ermac actually came out and they gave him his classic ninja skins, he just looks so cool. Like, I don't know why you would ever use his default skin when you have the UMK3 Ermac skin and you have the MK movie skin. Like, he looks so badass with those skins. They made him human with those skins. It's perfect. It's perfect. So Ermac, 10 out of 10. S tier for me. S tier DLC character, 100%. So far, obviously, the top of the class, but that is only character number 2. Wait, I was going to say, wait, do I hit the combo here? I did not because I got broken. All right, next up here, we have Takeda. So Takeda was the final Mortal Kombat DLC character from Combat Pack 1. I think he came out sometime in like July of last year, maybe August. Yeah, it was around August because I remember going to EVO specifically to capture early footage, gameplay footage, playing with Takeda. So he came out sometime in August, and I remember playing him for the first time, and I thought he was going to be insane. Like, I thought he was going to be an insane character because of the crazy range that he has. And in this game, there's not too many characters with crazy range, right? So I was thinking he was going to be, like, ridiculously good. But when he came out, he wasn't ridiculously good. He had his positives, you know, creative combos, really cool-looking combos. Has a Spider-Man swing. With some cameos, you could get overhead low mix-ups, you know, Sektor. get overhead low mix-ups with either a jump in or the low kunai, and then the missile like kind of comes down towards and hits the opponent after either a jump in or a low. So there's a lot of cameos that work really well with Takeda, but I think he's more like middle of the road character. He doesn't do crazy damage. His combos, the execution was a little bit harder before, I think, for me at least, because I was doing things too late and I didn't really get the Spidey swing cancel down. But once I did, the execution is actually pretty easy. They made execution even easier recently with the fact that you could cancel his forward two into the overhead kick. So now if you do, any sort of combo string into overhead kick, then you could just do forward two into overhead kick again and do forward two into his straight launcher, and then go in from there and use whatever cameo you want to extend the combos. So I think Takeda overall has really flashy gameplay, really fun playstyle, but I don't think he is as exciting as Takeda was in MKX. Maybe it's because Ronin Takeda was so unique and so cool with the lightsabers that I expected something to come back with the lightsabers. I was very disappointed when he didn't take out two blades and, start cutting some fools up, because I think a lot of us really wanted the lightsaber Takeda to come back in one way or another. Maybe not his whole game plan focus around that, even though it would have been cool, but maybe like a move or two or a combo string or two, have him use his lightsabers. I think that would have been a cool nod to MKX. But I think Takeda's middle of the road. Not too many people even request Takeda whenever I make videos. But I like him. I definitely don't think he is... I think they could make him even more fun. Like, make him crazier. I don't know what they could do to make him more fun. Maybe recover a little bit faster on the first. No, I'm not sure what they could do to make him more fun, but I know that he's missing something. I just don't know what yet. That was a very lucky stand 3. That was accidental. But I think Takeda is cool. He's just like more of a middle of the road character, and definitely not my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th choice to play as, if I want to have fun with MK1. So I'm going to give him a B as well. I think Quan Chi is a little bit more interesting than Takeda, but Takeda overall, is better. And if you want to, succeed more, you probably go with Takeda instead of a character like Quan Chi. But I still probably hold him to a B. All right, moving on here to the Chaos Reigns character. So I feel like out of all the DLC, Mortal Kombat DLC characters, I think Noob Saibot is probably going to be number one on a lot of people's list. I think it's either going to be Noob Saibot or Ermac, because those two characters are crazy fun. Noob Saibot, they killed it. They exceeded my expectations when it came to gameplay. They did such a good job with Noob Saibot. Man, I can't even tell you guys how happy I was when I was seeing the gameplay reveal trailer, and also when I first got my hands on him, because then we could start putting combos together. And Noob Saibot is one of those characters where you could never play him and then spend a good hour or so in training mode and just keep coming up with different combos with different cameos. He's so versatile. He has so much creativity, so much combo potential, and he does really good damage. He has mix-ups. So I think Noob Saibot is right there as an S tier character. I'm gonna give him the grade right now because he's an S tier character for sure. S tier Mortal Kombat DLC character. He's so much fun. Obviously, probably the most important part of the Chaos Reigns story mode was Bihan and Noob Saibot. So Noob Saibot was the highlight for me in the story mode. I thought Noob Saibot was awesome in the story mode. Obviously, there was a lot of things that didn't hit, but Noob Saibot was definitely one of the characters that did hit for me, and I feel like he was probably the biggest highlight of the story mode. And yeah, they did a really good job designing the character, giving him some things from older Mortal Kombat games, but modernized, like the Shadow Portal. They gave him the Shadow Clone. There's a lot of things from Mortal Kombat trilogy that they gave him in this game. They just made it different, which is always great. It's always cool seeing something that's familiar and playing with something that's familiar, but with a little touch to make it unique for whatever new game that they're bringing that character into. And I think Noob Saibot is that perfect blend of old moves just made modern, and also they came up with some creative things like the hand, the Embrace Chaos. I think that's a really unique feature that he has. The fact that if you use his shadow attack, it doesn't come back for like half a second. So there's been plenty of times where I do a specific move and I go for a specific combo after using my shadow attack, and the combo doesn't come out because obviously there's a little bit of recovery for that shadow attack. So you have to think a little bit more when you're playing with Noob compared to his old iterations where you could just use the shadow attack like over and over and over again without really thinking about it. So yeah, Noob Saibot works really well with a lot of cameos in the game, and is just an S. Oh my god, I remember that though. His reversal kind of sucks though. You guys saw it right there. His reversal kind of sucks. But Noob Saibot, in my opinion, is number 2 because I just love Ermac so much. He looks so cool, has a lot of creativity. I already talked about Ermac, so there's no need. But I think Noob Saibot is my number 2 DLC pick, and of course he's an S tier. He's like, I give him the same grade as Ermac, but I have Ermac as my number 1. But yeah, S tier for sure. All right, moving on here. We have one of the robots. So Cyrax and Sektor. I think this is where a lot of people were very turned off when it came to the Mortal Kombat side of DLC characters, because even whether you want to admit it or not, the fact that they gender swapped Sektor and Cyrax upset a lot of people. They upset a lot of people because characters that have been the same for 30 years, and then they gender swap them. A lot of people were very upset about it. I wasn't one of them, just because I feel like they're still Sektor and Cyrax. As long as they have their traditional moves and they feel like Sektor and Cyrax, then they're Sektor and Cyrax. But it definitely hurt the excitement of Sektor and Cyrax, because normally they're pretty popular characters, but I guarantee you that they're a lot less used right now than in previous Mortal Kombat games. I could even go back to MKX and Triborg. Cyrax was a pretty hard character to use because you needed execution to hit some of his higher damaging combos and setups. I guarantee you there's more people using Cyrax in MKX than they ever did in MK1. I think even Sektor, but yeah, Sektor was like crazy good in MKX, so I can't really compare that. But I'll talk about Sektor when it comes down to it. Yeah, Cyrax and Sektor, very important parts of the story mode. I feel like Cyrax has similar to Noob Saibot, a really good blend of traditional moves, modernized and changed up a little bit to fit with MK1's playstyle. But as soon as Cyrax came out and all 3 DLC characters came out, like the first day, I was doing the best with Cyrax. I know that there's people who a lot of people have figured out different ways to use wake-up options to avoid, sort of being put in a vortex versus Cyrax, because when she came out for the first time, everyone was saying she was the best character in the game. And I don't think anyone's saying that anymore. But that doesn't mean that she's not really good. Cyrax is still really good. And the opponent has to commit to a defensive option. You're going to delay wake up and jump back, delay wake up and sit there. So there's a little bit of a mind game there between the offensive defensive player. So I find that really entertaining, like, to play. Like, I really enjoy that little mind game of, all right, I'm thinking you're going to do this defensive option, so I'm going to switch up my timing or I'm going to switch up what I want to do and do this instead of counter you. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like that makes things fun when you're playing as Cyrax. The bombs, I love the fact that you could throw so many bombs and do like, what, 5-6 bombs in one combo. I love using Cyrax with Shujinko. I told you guys from a while ago that I feel like that's one of her best teams because you really don't give up much and you gain a crumple state with Shujinko's like combo string, forward cameo, up cameo, which allows you to set up 2 bombs while your opponent is like, crumpling down to the ground. And those 2 bombs will allow you to go for a command grab, go for an overhead, or go for like a back 3 if they try to jump out. And you have so many options from that setup. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm definitely giving Cyrax an A because I love her game plan and her gameplay so much. Man, I love turning Mortal Kombat into a single player game. If I'm the one that's on the offense and I'm putting you in the blender, in a vortex, and you can't get out of it, that's that's like, I don't know what to compare it to, but it makes me happy. It makes me smile. Now, if someone else does that to me, I'm pissed. But that's how it is in fighting games. Whatever you like doing to someone a lot, you hate when it's done to you. That's just how it is. But because I do play Cyrax, whenever I fight versus another Cyrax, which is very rare, a lot of times they're not going to be doing the setups on me because I know what they want to go for the most part. But of course, they could change it up and then, get me trying to get out of their setups. But yeah, Cyrax, awesome. I love her, especially with this costume right here, the Cyber Sub-Zero with this helmet and the blue color. It just looks so badass. So Cyrax gets an A from me. All right, and last but not least, we have the final video. We have Sektor. Now, I don't know what it is, but I feel like Sektor is the least popular character out of every Mortal Kombat DLC characters. I pretty much go based on like views because views let me know that people are excited to watch, a specific character or a specific video. For example, if I upload a video with like Ghostface, obviously super popular, it just came out. But if I upload Omni-Man, Homelander, those characters are going to get higher views than other characters. And, that lets me know, okay, people are interested in these characters. But when it comes to all the Mortal Kombat DLC characters, Sektor is definitely the least popular character out of all of them, which makes me really sad because I feel like her gameplay is so cool. I love the traditional moves mixed in with new moves and just a little bit of a change from old moves. Like, for example, instead of her having the teleport where she goes down underground and comes up with the uppercut, instead she launches up and comes down with like a slam. So that's their version of the teleport or the telepunch. She still has a flamethrower. She has a hover move now, or she has like a air dash. She has different ways where you could trick your opponent. You could jump up, air dash upwards. They try to anti-air you. They come down. They punish you. She has her straight rocket now as a gun. She also has an air rocket gun now. And all these different tools that she has leads to some insane combos in the corner. Especially if you're using Movado. That's my cameo choice. I love using Movado with Sektor because it allows her to get like some really cool stylish combos that, she doesn't really do much damage, to be honest with you guys. She doesn't do too much damage, but she doesn't really like need to because she also has maybe the best zoning in the game. She has really fast recovery on jump rocket gun. Her rocket gun on the ground does pretty solid damage. If you're using her with Movado, you get a full combo from anywhere on the screen, either with the straight rocket or the air rocket gun. So she doesn't do the most damage in the world, but that's just because she has like everything that you want in a character. She's a solid ass character. Like, she's amazing in a game like MK1. I would definitely say she's probably like top 10, maybe even top 5. I'm not sure. I would have to like really look at the at all the characters, but for sure she's a top 10 character. She has everything that you want in a Mortal Kombat 1 character to excel in, you know, in this system that they designed for this game. So I definitely give Sektor an A along with Cyrax as far as DLC characters that are Mortal Kombat characters. So I don't have any other videos, so I'm just going to list all the characters in order from my favorite to my least favorite, even though I like all of them a lot. I really do. You could tell that they took more chances and they opened the game up more with the DLC characters compared to the base roster characters, which makes me sad because if all the characters played like similar to the DLC characters, we would have a crazy ass game with more options for the base roster, like for the whole roster. But I like all the DLC characters, but if I'm gonna put them in order, I have to put them in order, right? So number 1, Ermac. Number 2, Noob Saibot. Number 3, Cyrax. Number 4, Sektor. Number 5, Takeda. And last but not least, we have Quan Chi. So that is it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably a long one, but, you know, I wanted to do this because we're probably not going to get any more DLC in the future. So what better time than right now to discuss my, you know, what I think of all the Mortal Kombat DLC characters, which one's my favorite, which one I think is the best. By the way, I think the best, if you're speaking tier-wise, I think the best of these DLC characters is probably Sektor. I thought it was Cyrax before, but she does have pretty glaring weaknesses. And then after that, I would probably say maybe Ermac. Ermac has a lot of tools, man. It's really good. Ermac, then Cyrax, then Noob, then Takeda, and then probably Quan Chi is, you know, might be the worst character in the game tier wise. But I'll do the same with the guest characters whenever the T1000 and Conan are out, because it would make no sense for me to do this video for the guest characters when they're not all out. But since all the Mortal Kombat characters are out, I could do it right now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I never make videos with a script. It's all from the top of the head, baby, and I love it. Could talk like 30 minutes without any break or without a script or anything. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. That's why I love doing some of these videos and like Q&As and all that, just because I could talk, which is one of my favorite things to do in life. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time.